Well, I know what you're thinking. Where the heck have I been? Suffice to say, over the last 5 months since my last video update, a lot has happened in my life personally. Life got heavy. I'm not here to make excuses. I love doing YouTube and I have decided I want to try a new format. So here we are. Still going to be doing movie reviews on occasion, but there's going to be a lot more vlogging and collector content. And so maybe I should just say to start off with that if you know me as Cinema Kane, that's great. But I'm Aaron. Nice to meet you. First things first, we've got to feed the ADHD gremlin that lives in my brain. So, coffee. Yeah, over the last few months, I have had house renovations. Three different people quit where I work, and as a result, I was having to do overtime for like 3 months while we hired people. And on top of all of that, because of the renovations at the house, the YouTube studio kind of got destroyed, and then I've got to put it back together and all that good stuff. So, yeah, it just became very poor timing to shoot YouTube videos. So now that it's New Year's, I figure now's the time to start doing something new. And I've always thought vlogging was cool, so I'm giving it a shot. This won't be a daily thing. Don't get used to a routine, but I can probably promise more uploads in this format. Yes, can I get a venti iced caramel macchiato, please? Yep, that'll be it. Thank you. Coffee's pretty much a non-negotiable with me because I work a job where I've got to be at work at 6:30 a.m. and as a result, caffeine keeps me going. I'm sure some of you can relate. Doing well. How about yourself? Thank you. Thank you so much. You too. All right. Feeding the ADHD gremlin was key. Now, on to our first stop of the day. If you're wondering what's on the agenda, first, I am planning to go to a local antique mall. It, in general, tends to have a lot of VHS, DVDs at some of the various stalls, as well as collectibles, vinyls. There's an entire section there that is nothing but movie related artwork that is not movie posters. I'll show you what I mean when I get there. It's a cool place, got a great vibe. Uh, Not sure how much I'll be able to get in there because a lot of times they have the radio playing in the place, but you'll see. It's also in an abandoned Circuit City, which always kind of makes me laugh because there was a time where if you wanted to buy a CD or vinyl or a DVD or a VHS back in the day, you could easily find that kind of thing at Circuit City, not to mention the actual players. So, just kind of funny that in a way life has become full circle for them and that they're selling physical media again, even though it's an antique mall and they sell various other things too. So, how have you been? Yeah, I've been thinking for a while now about doing vlogs, um, and getting away from the traditional sit in front of a camera format and just instead talk to you guys like I am right now, just like as myself, as Aaron, not as the Cinema Kane persona. Because while that persona is part of me and definitely not like a dishonest thing, it's just this is who I am conversationally. Uh, and if you get me going about something I love, especially movies, I'll talk your ear off all day. Uh, so yeah, hoping maybe I can find some cool DVDs, maybe a Blu-ray or some VHS to add to the old collection today because I have eclectic taste. Because I am living in 2025 on the last day of 2025 and looking for a product that came out in the mid 70s. Because who doesn't love VHS tapes? No, seriously, who? Yeah, it's weird. Vlogging is not, like I said, I don't know what my schedule is going to be with regard to how often I'm going to upload, but I am going to be uploading more frequently. It probably won't be to the extent that it was when I was doing this regularly for the last couple of years. I'm probably not going to be uploading on like Monday and Friday. Probably going to shoot something and upload it, and don't know when or where the in between is going to lie. But we'll see. This is an experiment for me as much as it is for you. I just hope I'm making it entertaining enough that you want to stick around. So I'm curious, to anyone out there who's watching this, maybe you're a first time visitor to my channel, maybe you're someone who's been subscribed since video one, I don't know. But if you're watching this today, New Year's Eve 2025, what are your New Year's Eve plans? You gonna watch the ball drop, New Year's Rockin' Eve, a party maybe? What you got going on? Me, I'm probably gonna sit at home and watch a movie because that's who I am. What I enjoy doing. You know, it is kind of sad to me that like certain holidays get gypped with regard to not having movies or at least enough movies based on them because I know of that Gary Marshall movie New Year's Eve. I know of a movie from the late 90s early 2000s that I reviewed on the channel called 100 Cigarettes, and I know that a portion of Ghostbusters 2 all take place on New Year's Eve. But like legitimately, serious question: why don't more movies take place on New Year's Eve? Because it feels kind of like a perfect time to set a movie, at least in my opinion. It's funny. I live in Florida, and I'm sure because of the time of year it is, it's probably very cold for some of you, and depending on where you live in the world, it might be very warm for some of you. But right now, it's very cold for me here in Florida. And why, you ask? Well, because my beloved Florida's tropical climate right now is a whopping 59 degrees. And I'm sorry, I know some of you are going, oh, that's a heat wave. Not for a Floridian. And if you're wondering, no, I'm not originally from Florida. I'm originally from North Carolina. But I've lived in Florida for the last 12 years. And as a result, I feel like my blood has thinned. because I just can't handle the cold like I used to. So, unfortunately, they had music blaring in there. So, most likely, you'll just see coverage of the interior with no sound. I will obviously put background music behind it, but yeah, that's why, because copyright. Ain't YouTube fun? Anyway, from here, we are going to Barnes and Noble because the Barnes and Noble where I live is actually downsizing to a smaller location. And so currently, to get rid of stock, they are having a 50% off sale on most of the store. So I'm hoping to find maybe some coffee table books that are normally $25 to $40, maybe half price or better. Um, some classic literature I've been looking for, and who knows, maybe even a Criterion or two on sale. We'll see. Um, so yeah, let's go to Barnes and Noble. Yeah, the Barnes and Noble where I live is actually going to be bulldozed and become a Chick-fil-A, and they are moving into the old location of a Party City that's been closed for I think 2 years now. So the amount of space they currently have versus the space they're about to have, I'm wondering if they'll even sell anything but books at that point. Because I know that, like, for example, the games and toys section will probably go away at least. But it wouldn't surprise me if DVDs and that kind of thing went away too. I hope not, because I'm a physical media guy, as you know. But yeah. By the way, I love comments because I've been cultivating this beard since my birthday back in October, and been getting some compliments. But what do you guys think? Does the beard suit me? Just curious. Is it strange that 2026 seems like it should still be 10 years off or more? Of course, with everything that happened in 2020, should it really surprise me that things feel off with years? I mean, legitimately. All right, so I am fresh out of Barnes and Noble. It was a madhouse in there because the parking lot is full and that 50% off sale is no joke. I did find a few things. Um, One, very cool. Another, uh, something I read a long time ago. And the other is a blind buy for me. Like, never heard of it till today and read the first couple of lines of the description. I was like, that could be cool. So we'll see how that turns out. But I will show you guys what I got when I am home and parked. All right, so I am home. I'm parked, and I'm sure you're curious as to what I got at the Antique Mall and Barnes and Noble. So let's start with the Antique Mall. I only picked up one thing today. As you saw, there were several booths that had VHS and DVD, and I looked through the DVDs, but truthfully, I'm more of a Blu-ray guy just because high definition is better quality. But that isn't to say I don't occasionally dabble in DVD. I recently picked up the Tommy Knockers miniseries from that same Antique Mall weeks ago, and it was like, oh, well, I haven't seen this available on Blu-ray, and it probably won't be. Let's face it, it's the Tommy Knockers. It's not the Stand. That said, I picked it up because, yeah, Stephen King on DVD. Why not? But for today's purchase, I went with something nostalgic, something I owned as a kid on VHS that I now own again as an adult. This makes DVD, Blu-ray, and VHS that I now have in my collection as an adult. And for $3, I got The Sandlot. So yeah, I mean, what's there to say about The Sandlot? It's a great flick, and if you are a child of the 90s, heck, if even if you're younger Gen X, you probably grew up on this movie. So The Sandlot, great display piece for the shelf because it's clamshell. Yeah, What else is there to say? For $3, you can't go wrong. Now, because of that Barnes & Noble sale, I looked for several different things that I'd been looking for. There wasn't a lot, but so I'm not really the type to set New Year's resolutions, as it were, but I am the type to set goals. One of my goals is to read more literary classics this year, as well as just reading in general, because I think I read like maybe 10 books last year. So I'm going to try and get maybe 20 to 30 read this year, because I have done that in the past. Last year was just a weird year, which I already talked about a little bit. So with that in mind, I have not read this book since I was like maybe 12. And when I saw that Barnes & Noble had it for half price and it was one of their fancy collector's editions, I picked up Mark Twain's The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. 50% off. So that's like $7.50. This is a book I'd never heard of until today. It appears to be a coming of age book, coming of age book. And if you've been a fan of the channel for any length of time, you know how much I love coming of age stories. As soon as I saw the title and read the first couple of lines of the description, I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. So for just over $7, I picked up the Saturday Night Ghost Club. Yeah, the Saturday Night Ghost Club. Again, never heard of it, never read it, so figured why not. Last but not least, I'm trying to get more Criterions in the collection, because it's not that there aren't several that I want. It's just, unless you hit it during the 50% off sale, you're pretty much screwed on the price. This was not 50% off in the store today. However, it did have a sticker marking it 30% off. So for $30, I picked up the 4K of History of Violence. History of Violence on 4K. It's Cronenberg. It's Viggo Mortensen shortly after Lord of the Rings fame hit. Great freaking movie. It's based off of a graphic novel. Several of the scenes have made it to Instagram over the years. It's a really cool movie. I enjoyed it immensely the first time I saw it back when it was in theaters. And truthfully, even though I really enjoyed it, I haven't revisited it since. And seeing some of the clips make their way to Instagram recently, I was like, you know what? I'd really like to revisit that. And what better way to revisit it than by adding it to the collection and checking it out. All right, so that was everything I picked up today. I hope you guys stick around for this new vlog format. It's going to be fun for me to experiment, and hopefully it'll be fun for you to see what I'm up to, be it collecting, be it day trips somewhere. Who knows where this vlogging thing might take me. But as I said earlier in the video, it's something I've been thinking about for a long time, and I really hope you guys stick with me. So if you're new here, maybe like, share, subscribe. If you're a returning viewer, hopefully you'll stick around. There will be the occasional movie reviews coming up, and Happy New Year. I hope 2026 is a great one for all of you. Hope it's a good one for me too. We'll see you next time.